Today's video is titled "The Hall Family Forgives a White Supremacist for Attempting to Murder Them." Now, if y'all new here, what we do here is read, listen, watch, and we block talk, break that shit down. Y'all already know how we do, you dig? Let me give y'all the screen right quick. Y'all see that? You see, they always send you on, right? Y'all know what a gift and a curse is? You know what a gift and a curse is? A gift is being loving and forgiving. You know how black people are, but it's also a curse, y'all, being loving and forgiving. God damn it. Because when Eminem dropped, everybody could love him and forgive him, even though he said the most racist things about black men and women, porch monkeys and all kind of stuff he called them. People loved him, y'all, and they forgave him for the words that he spoke. Unfortunately, that's never reciprocated when it comes to us. Think about the baby. I'm not really familiar with his music, but I know when he came under fire, nobody seemed to be loving or forgiving in regards to him. You dig? Nobody said, hey, well, you know what? The baby, as he explained it, he made sense. No one was loving or forgiving towards that man. Or think about it. Just regular people, you pull up at a stoplight. Some people, you see a black dude right there and he listening to his hip hop, it's up loud, and he bobbing his head. Most people sit up there and think, oh, he a thug. Now he know he need to cut that music off. Now why he got that music that loud, talking about murder and all of that? But if a white dude pull up, y'all, if a white dude pull up with the same music and he's singing it line for line, be honest with yourself. What you gonna see people say? Oh, he singing just like us. Oh, you see how he's singing it? Dang, he know DMX word for word. Dang, in amazement. In amazement. So loving, huh? You'll forgive them even if they slip and say the N-word, huh? I can't even say it on this platform how much they shadow ban people these days. And you know they hide me. But you see how loving and forgiving people can be? Except for when it comes to blacks, y'all. Except for when it comes to blacks. Keep that in mind as we hop into this story right here, man.
So all family says that they forgave the young man who shot at their house and then some. They say they harbor no ill will against them and want to put what happened behind them. Take a look.
Did you hear that? In case the volume was messed up, let's repeat that, y'all. You are witnessing the Rebel Network.
Hey guys, so all family says that they forgave the young man who shot at their house and then some. They say they harbor no ill will against them and want to put what happened behind them.
Do you hear that? They said a man who shot at their house and more. In regards to that man, y'all, they said they want to put that behind them. They don't have no ill will. The man made an attempt at their life, y'all. I'm not going to spoil the video. We just going to go piece by piece. But already, you know that there was a man who shot rounds into another person's home, y'all. And these people said they carry no ill will, y'all. And they want to put the past behind them. How many times have this been done in regards to a black man or woman? Just question stuff before you shoot the messenger, most of you. Let's continue.
We just trying to move on from here. Right. Yet the memory will still always be there, but as adults and with our kids, we have to move on.
Why is that, people? Why does he have to move on so soon? They just not got the verdict, y'all. He just now was sentenced. Why are they moving on so soon? The man attempted to murder you. Why are you moving on so soon? It's only been a year, sir. Why? And then you say our kids. Because of our kids, we have to move on. Let me make sure. Yep. Because we adults with our kids, we have to move on. For real? You know what? You're right. You do have to move on, but you have to move correct. You got to make sure that justice is served. Make sure that you're saying the right things, which unfortunately, that's not what you're doing right now. You understand me, people? But he's so ready to move on. Think about the black kid who probably hopped in somebody's backyard and stole a bike. You think the family just moved on or said, you know what? We're just going to move on from this? Or even black parents, no, take him. Oh, he stole my son bike. You know how it go down. Don't lie. Don't lie. You people be wanting to see black people punished to the fullest extent of the law, but they so quick to forgive these people. You never see people being forgiven in regards to black men who they plaster over every TV screen every night on local news and mainstream media. And the black woman who is just an over sexualized woman, you understand me, looking for material gain. I know, but let's continue before I digress. Y'all know how I can get as videos go along. Let's continue, y'all. But remember, they ready to move on ahead, y'all. Let everything slide so fast, so suddenly, no ill will. Let's continue. You are witnessing a Rebel Network.
For nearly a year, the Hall family finally can. The man who terrorized them over several days will spend more than 1,000 of them in prison. A Macomb County Circuit Court judge gave Michael Frederick Jr. a sentence of 4 to 10 years Monday. The 25-year-old shot at the Hall family's home, slashed tires on one of their cars, and wrote racist graffiti on their pickup truck last September. He told the judge he did it all because he was incensed over the Hall's Black Lives Matter sign.
Wow. Y'all hear what else he did? See, in the beginning, we knew that he had shot into the home, but now we know that he vandalized their truck, y'all. Slashed their tires, y'all. He wrote SWAT stickers, drew SWAT stickers on the truck, y'all. Y'all notice I ain't hear nothing about the word hate crime yet? We ain't hear attempted murder either. But yet he was charged and got 4 years for what? Vandalism. Wow. How about reckless endangerment with a firearm? Black men and women, you know about that. You know how they stack hours. That's how I know about the charges. They would have said reckless endangerment with a firearm. God damn it. Oh, vandalism. You wrote SWAT stickers and all of that. Oh, you wrote that Black Lives Matter not. You saw what he put? Black Lives Matter not, with a SWAT sticker that said basically Nazis are welcome. You see what he did? But no mention of a hate crime, y'all. None of that. But if it's your kid stealing out of store, they'll add all kinds of crimes, stuff that ain't even been put on the books yet. And premeditated theft. They'll come up with anything. Yes, this is in Detroit. My bad, y'all. Remember that I don't be looking at the comments because I be trying to stay focused. But what I do is hurry up and click on it so other people can view your comment, y'all. But I'm going to rewind that a little bit and then we're going to play through. Look at this, the part I want y'all to hear. Check the verbiage. He said the Black Lives Matter sign incensed him. The verbiage, y'all. Listen.
Their pickup truck last September. He told the judge he did it all because he was incensed over the Hall's Black Lives Matter sign.
Because he was incensed. You see how soft they wanted to sound? Pay attention to how this story began, y'all. They did not even begin this story by saying, last September, a man shot through the home of 2 black citizens, almost injuring them and their children. No, they started off with the Hall family forgives and gives a hug and all of that, remember? But let's continue after they just said he was incensed, which means angered, y'all. Then said he was furious over a Black Lives Matter sign, which caused him to attempt to murder these people, which caused him to vandalize their property, y'all. They ain't say that. Oh, he was incensed. Oh, just a guy. He's incensed. Let's continue.
Respect people for who they are. And just go on. Okay, you got your viewpoint. I got my viewpoint. Let's agree to disagree.
Frederick's targeting of the Warren family struck a nerve. It happened as communities were already on edge as protests broke out around the country.
Hold on, y'all. We got to rewind that. Did that man just tell you agree to disagree? Agree to disagree? That's what you think about this situation? Let's rewind.
Family struck a nerve. It happened as communities were already on edge as protests broke out around the country following the murder of George Floyd and the contentious election between then President Donald Trump and former VP Joe Biden.
First of all, y'all, just now, and I'm about to rewind it, they trying to give him an out. They trying to give him an out. Oh, when he did this, that's when all of the riots was going on in the campaign. So that's why he was incensed, I'm guessing, huh? Why are you telling us about the community right now? The community didn't commit a crime. Talking about the community was sparked. When people sparked, it adds to a flame. What did the community do, y'all? We know who was sparked, aka incensed, him. He was incensed, so he went to try to murder people for having a Black Lives Matter sign, y'all. He was sparked, so he attempted to murder people. Wow. Let's continue.
Did it all because he was incensed over the Hoss Black Lives Matter sign.
You should respect people for who they are and just go on. Okay, you got your viewpoint, I got my viewpoint. Let's agree to disagree.
Let's agree to disagree. If it was all so simple, right? You are witnessing the Rebel Network. This ain't just some ideology or something. This ain't just a viewpoint that they disagree about. You understand me? These people disagree about your existence in this country. They disagree that you should be on the same level of citizenship as them. They believe that you are 3/5 of a man. What are you talking about? They disagree with you that you should just walk the streets freely. They disagree that you should have the same rights as them. They even vote on it all the time if you should be able to vote. You understand that? This ain't a simple agree to disagree type of situation. It's a lifestyle. Because after he disagree with you, he gonna live his life in the manner that he agrees with. Which means if a Black person have a BLM sign in their yard, his ideology says he can go in there and shoot at you. He can go over there and vandalize your car because he's a higher class of a citizen. He's above you according to his law. But when you agree to disagree, you end up forgiving and loving somebody. You see that? You see that? Let's continue.
Frederick's targeting of the Warren family struck a nerve. It happened as communities were already on edge as
it struck a nerve with the community and the election going on, y'all. It struck a nerve with the community. Wow. Y'all see how they setting it up, right?
Broke out around the country following the murder of George Floyd and the contentious election between then President Donald Trump and former VP Joe Biden.
And that's the first two excuses they give them. The riots incensed them and the election. Let's continue.
Police work to find and arrest Frederick.
As police work hard to find Frederick, y'all, why they forgiving this dude and he didn't even turn himself in? They didn't even catch him on the scene. Did you hear that? While the police was looking for Frederick before they give him more excuses. Let's rewind it. You are witnessing a Rebel Network. They about to give them more excuses as they try to paint the protests as some type of deflection from them doing their job or some type of blockage from them doing their job because of the protests and counter protests. Ain't that something? There were people protesting these people who actually just want justice and for a criminal to be found. How can you counter protest that? Wow. Yeah, we out here marching because, you know, we want to find a criminal who committed this hate crime and attempted to murder us. How can you counter protest that? You see who you dealing with, but you being loving and forgiving with people like that who would counter protest something like that. But let's continue, y'all.
And arrest Frederick. There were marches in support of the Haws and counter protests. But despite all that happened, the Haws are extending an olive branch to Frederick.
Despite all that happened, see, They acting like the protests was in retaliation to what had happened to the Halls, people. They acting like what? Oh, the protests and the counter protests, that was all kind of stuff in regards to the Halls. That has nothing to do with the Halls. As you just stated, protests and marches were going on around the country along with the election. So don't act like, oh, they retaliated or something by marching and protesting for the Halls. You see how they get down? And then got the cheeks to sit up there and say, despite all that happened, be specific. All that happened to who? All that happened to the Halls? You mean the attempted murder and the vandalism, the hate crime? After all that happened, like there was wrongs done on both sides. Do you understand what's going on here, people? Wow, after all that was done, huh? Wow.
But despite all that happened, the Halls are extending an olive branch to Frederick.
I'm not angry. I'm forgiving. I'm loving. I care about this kid. I want to see, I even looked at him and I told him, I said, you're a great kid. You have great things coming your way. You made a bad mistake, but I want you to learn. And in my impact statement, it said, I want you to get close to God.
Wow, y'all. Why is he such a good kid to her? That's what I'm not understanding, y'all. Why is he such a good kid? He didn't turn himself in. I don't even think he apologized to you yet. He didn't turn himself in. Why is he a good kid? For committing a hate crime and almost taking your life or your husband's life. A man who served in the military. Why is he such a good kid to you, man? People really have to stop, y'all. And he a grown man, by the way. He's not a kid. I looked at him and said, you're a good kid. These people lie to people's face every day. You really believe him? Oh, long as he get right with the God that you forced up on me. But see, that's another story. Because if I start to talk about religion or spirituality, some of you idiots will find a way to just click me off, insult me and everything. Know how y'all do, some of you. But look at them, y'all, so forgiving and loving. So forgiving and loving when it ain't another black person. Because soon as it is, what about black on black crime? He need to be locked up and everything else, huh? Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You are witnessing the Rebel Network. Let's continue.
And he said that
Frederick's father was charged with accessory after the fact and evidence tampering for throwing the gun his son used into a river.
Did you hear that? The daddy laid up there and tampered with evidence, y'all, and got away with it. He threw the gun in the river. He's an accessory after the fact. But what they not saying is that he should have been charged with harboring a fugitive, right? Shouldn't he have been charged for harboring a fugitive? Come on now. Loving and forgiving.
he said that
Frederick's father was charged with accessory after the fact and evidence tampering for throwing the gun his son used into a river. He cut a deal with prosecutors to avoid serious jail time, but was ordered to pay $3,000 in restitution.
$3,000. People could have died that day, and all he paid was $3,000, and he got the walk for being an accessory amongst harboring a fugitive, y'all. Amongst harboring a fugitive. So loving and forgiving. I could barely get people to forgive me for saying a quote unquote cursed word. I can barely get people to forgive me for fucking talking so loud. Remember that? I could barely get people to love me just for speaking my mind to power. Could barely get people to love you for speaking truth to power. Wow. But they so loving and forgiving for these people on a daily basis. Pick a channel.
The Hall say Frederick's actions ultimately backfired and unified their neighborhood.
what was meant for our harm, God turned it for our good. And I say that because neighbors came out of their houses, ones that we didn't see before, and we were able to meet the people. We saw more love than hate in this whole thing. There was more people that came to our rescue, came to see about us.
Wow. For real. You saw more love than hate simply because some neighbors came by to talk for a while. You know what's going to happen with those neighbors? It'll die down. Everybody going to forget. But think about the kids who came outside that morning on their way to school or came out to play that day and they saw that written all over your car because you was black, or the kids who heard the shots through your window when it happened. Think about the fear they had because you was black that happened. Think about what them kids, that's going to stick with them when all the neighbors go away, when all the hugs go away. Them kids going to remember that. And where was your kids? Because y'all mentioned that you have kids. Remember, we got to move on because we have kids. Remember that? What about your kids? Where were they? Even if they wasn't there, they probably thinking, man, my daddy, my mama could have been murdered tonight by some person who was angry just because they had a Black Lives Matter sign in their front yard. My grandma and grandpa my grandmother and grandfather could be dead right now just because they black. You understand that when the hugs go away, when the love, forgiveness, and all of that go away? Let's continue.
Frederick also vandalized another home in the area that had a Joe Biden sign up on the property.
I got you. I'm going to give you a wrench. I can't do it on here.
As he serves his prison
I got you. Wow. You heard what they just said at the end, y'all? They want to visit the dude as he served his prison sentence. My bad. I was telling, I don't want to pronunciate your name wrong, but I'm going to throw you the wrench after this video over. But y'all, did you hear that? They want to visit this dude while he's in prison. You think if he was black, they would have did the same thing?
Contact with Frederick as he serves. Frederick also vandalized another home in the area that had a Joe Biden sign up on the property. The Hall say they want to stay in contact with Frederick as he serves his prison sentence.
Wow, y'all. Wow. They said the dude even vandalized another yard just for having a Joe Biden sign. Why is he being so forgiving? Why they still love him? Why they won't visit him in jail, y'all? I don't understand it, man. Let's listen to it one more time and we're going to wrap it up, man. And look, they always send your kind to do their dirty work. Look at him with the soft intro, the soft words. They didn't even start off by saying what the crime was. They just start off by saying forgive and love. Forgive and love.
The Hall family says that they forgave the young man who shot at their house and then some. They say they harbor no ill will against him and want to put what happened behind them. Take a look.
We just trying to move on from here, you know, yet the memory will still always be there, but as adults and with our kids, we have to move on.
And
why, y'all? You can move on, but move correct.
Nearly a year, the Hall family finally can. The man who terrorized them over several days will spend more than a...
Hold on. After nearly a year, you think if he was black that it would have took a year to make sure that he was under the jail? Do you really think that? Be honest with yourself. Let's continue.
Of them in prison. A Macomb County Circuit Court judge gave Michael Frederick Jr. a sentence of 4 to 10 years Monday. The 25-year-old shot at the Hall family's home, slashed tires in one of their cars, and wrote racist graffiti on their pickup.
You see that? Racist graffiti. Not hate speech. Not committed a hate crime. None of that.
Last September, he told the judge he did it all because he was incensed over the Hall's Black Lives Matters.
Because he was incensed, aka mad, aka furious, angry, outraged. Because they had a Black Lives Matter sign. So he about to kill somebody and vandalize their property.
You should respect people for who they are. And just go on. Okay, you got your viewpoint. I got my viewpoint.
Boy, it is deeper than a viewpoint. That man disagree with your way of life. He think that this is his country. He think you a second class, if not third class citizen in America. He believe he have the right to say and do whatever he want to you. And that's why he moved in the manner in which he did, by attempting to murder you and vandalizing your property. No respect is there, sir, for you as a human being.
Agree to disagree.
Frederick's targeted
To respect people for who they are.
Respect, huh?
Okay, you got your viewpoint, I got my viewpoint. Let's agree to disagree.
Frederick's targeting of the Warren family struck a nerve. It happened as communities were already on edge as protests broke out around the country following the murder of George Floyd and the contentious election between then
You see that? As if the community was already rioting and destroying the community. Oh, he did this while people was already on edge, which means he's trying to imply that after this happened, people went off the edge, the protesting marches. And he's also giving this clown an excuse because of the riots and protests and the election. This guy was incensed, angered. Wow.
and Donald Trump and former VP Joe Biden. As Warren police worked to find and arrest Frederick, there were marches in support of the Hawes and counter-protests. But despite all that happened, the Hawes are extending an olive branch to Frederick.
I'm not angry. I'm forgiving. I'm loving. I care about this kid. I want to see, I even looked at him and I told him.
She care about that kid, a grown man, by the way. I love this kid. I care about why. Did you have some kind of conversation with him that you're not telling us about? To where he said, you know what I did was racist. I'm wrong. Did you have a deep, conversation with this? You so loving right now. And I'm not about to attack these elderly people. But wow, y'all, this is what has to stop, though. Let's continue.
Kid. You have great things coming your way. You made a bad mistake, but I want you to learn. And in my impact statement, it said, I want you to get close to God.
And he
Look at him. And he did. How you know? And yeah, they probably did got paid off. They probably got a little payoff other than that 3,000. Probably got a little more than that. You know what I'm saying? Look at him. I told him to get right with God. Do you know that he had a God before he done that to you? You ever saw the KKK march? Light number torches, in the sign, in the way of a cross. How they used to have it, y'all. I think that was torches, them walking down a long street, and they had it formed just like a cross. He have a God. That's what he believe his God want. This ain't just some ideology. When he disagree with you, that mean that you disagree that his God is white. His God agree with him to him. What is you talking about? And he did.
And he said that.
Frederick's father
and he said that.
And he did.
And he said that.
He
Frederick's
did.
father was charged with.
I want you to learn. And in my impact statement, it said, I want you to get close to God.
And he did.
And he said that.
Frederick's father was charged with accessory after the fact and evidence tampering for throwing the gun his son used into a river. He cut a deal with prosecutors to avoid serious jail time, but was ordered to pay $3,000 in restitution.
Wow. Y'all see that? The daddy got to cut him a deal and walk after being an accessory after the fact to attempted murder, to which his son was not charged with. Wow. Wow.
The Hall say Frederick's actions ultimately backfired and unified their neighborhood.
What was meant for our harm, God turned it for our good. And I say that because neighbors came out of their houses, ones that we didn't see before, and we were able to meet the people. We saw more love than hate in this whole thing.
Because neighbors came out to see what happened and be nosy like they always do, neighbors everywhere, and hugged her, and she got to meet them. That means that it was so much love out there, y'all. But what happens once again when the hugs stop, when people let go, when people go back to living their normal lives, waking up, going to work, or doing whatever and not speaking to you? What happened to the kids who saw that night, who heard them shots, who impacted by that, since y'all not, you so loving and forgiving, basically monks or something? What happened to the kids who see that? What about your kids who impacted by that? Or me, or the people who viewing this video at whatever point in which they viewing it? Because I'm impacted by it. This is why I make what I make. This is why I create content. You understand me? Let's continue.
More people that came to our rescue came to see about us.
Frederick also vandalized another home in the area that had a Joe Biden sign up on the property. The Hall say they want to stay in contact with Frederick as he serves his prison sentence.
Yeah. Now, as we sit up here and wrap this up, y'all, you got to understand that it's a shame, bro. We got to change this. Like, talk to your grandparents. Tell them why we got to stop forgiving these people. Stop trying to play, you know, the moral high ground or whatever you want to call it. Don't think you're getting some moral victory. Them people don't care. They got their foot on your neck and they'll keep it there. It don't matter if they foot on your neck and you saying, you know what, I still forgive you. It's all right. I know you're not loosening up your foot, but I still love you and I forgive you after. No. You know what matter to them is keeping you on that ground so they can keep living high. You understand me? That's why they sit up there and shadow ban people like me. Because wait, bro. Wait till they get a load of me. You already know how it go. Y'all already know what you just not witnessed, though. You are witnessing the Rebel Network. Once again, y'all holler at me.